Welcome back to Flathead Ron's Garage. Well, in this video we're going to try to get a little bit more done. I can't guarantee you how fast we'll move through this, guys, but just have patience, we'll get there. Everything's been really busy around here lately. For me to get 2 or 3 hours out in the garage in a stretch, I'm pretty thankful for it. But I found top dead center. I've got the degree wheel tightened down. I'm over here measuring my lift now. I guess somewhere along the line my needle got bumped, so I'm going to have to go ahead and reset that. But anyway, before I do that, I'm going to measure and see what kind of lift I got, because according to the specs on the can, intake lift is supposed to be 320 along with the exhaust, so I'm just curious how close it is to 320. So the lift is all the way on the heel of the lobe. I had set to 0, and we're going to bring it up and see how much lift I've actually got out of it. See if it's 320 thousandths. $100, $200, $300. So it's only 300. It's supposed to be 320. This is only a 300. I need to find a writing stick. Just a minute. So right now, I've got the exhaust valve out of it. I'm going to transfer this over here. There. Now let's go ahead and zero this out. There we go. So let's try it one more time here. I think we'll get it right this time. One, two. Well, it said 203. I'm sorry, 303, 302 and a half. You know, my measurements might not be that great, but 2.5, I mean, well, this is how I had my other, I had a timing fixture put on here. I just want to see how close I was before, since this is top dead center right now. Well, check that out. That's a few degrees retarded. That's probably about 10 degrees at least. So at least now I know why I haven't been able to set the timing properly with the timing light. It never turns out. I go to set it by ear or set it with the vacuum gauge, and it works so much better. Now I know why. 1/4 inch difference. Here, let me show you guys. See? It's probably 10 degrees. So I'll pull the pulley off, and I'll double check with the what am I trying to think of? I'll double check with the degree wheel and see how many degrees advanced it was, but although it really doesn't matter as long as I get it set correctly this time, which I will. So I think I'll put new marks on this. I think I'll stamp them in here this time. Well, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my intake and exhaust valve I'll double check the clearances on them, and I'm going to start putting all my studs in. I'll go ahead and bring you back when I get to that point. Right now, we're going to use some of this really fun stuff to play with. This Permatex sealer. Just make sure you got it on the threads, because most all of these go through water jackets, and I'll just wipe off any that's left around the top of it. I'll do this 47 more times, and I'll bring you back when I get close to being done. Well, as you can see, I've got all 22 studs on there, and no, just kidding. There's all 24 of them on there, and I've got that sealer on every one of them. So what I'm going to do right now, I just have the flywheel set on here. I got the starter bolted on the oil pan, and I got a washer and a piece of hose underneath the Bendix to hold the starter drive fully engaged. So I'll bring you a little closer so you can see what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of my little studs here, and I'll put one on each side of the oil pan rail, and hopefully that'll guide me into place so I can put a bolt in it and tighten it up. I got it on there, and the gear popped off again. There we go, now it's missing. Okay, well, I think I can see it. Hopefully there we go. Everything looks like it's meshing okay. So I think that this is going to fit just fine. It's fully extended, and it's right in the center of the flywheel. So I think we're good on that. Now I can take the oil pump and the oil pan out to the shed and do my modifications and get this thing in the car. The oil pump's been pressed apart. All you have to do is take out a little roll pin up on the top gear and press it right down through the bottom. So that's out. Nothing, there's no other gear inside here. What I'm going to do is clean this hole up in here. I'm not going to do anything drastic to it. I'm just going to go in and touch the edges and make it as concentric as I can, because I want to make a plug to go in that. Okay, now I'm full depth. There we go. Now I've got a nice, clean, fairly concentric hole to work with. So I'll probably just clean up this a little bit more off camera, flatten it out, and I'll get a piece of brass and figure out exactly what type of plug I'm going to put on this darn thing here. I've got plenty of metal around both sides. I made it go right up into here and all the way down into here. Don't laugh at me, okay? The plan is to make a piece that goes right over the top of this, fits right in here, because it's nice and flat, and it'll attach with screws on either side of this and one screw down here on the end, and that's it. There's not going to be any sealer in it. I'm not going to braze it on, and it'll work just fine, because the flathead's only going to have about 60 pounds of oil pressure, maybe 70, and I'm sure that'll hold 70 psi for a split second until the whole system's up to pressure. I know there's going to be a lot of guys that aren't going to like that, but especially in the oil system, as soon as it drops below 20, my light will come on. I think that's how I'm going to do it right there. Now I've got to find a piece of brass. Okay, I've got the piece of brass in here. I'm going to go in and clean up the top and this side here. Then I'll go ahead and measure it and mark it for width. And then I'll go for the little recess that goes inside there. .357 by 1/472. So I'll probably give it about overlap it probably about 100 thousandths. That'll give it plenty of it to seat on either side. I mean, I could go take this down more if I want. There's plenty of room. There's an 1/8 inch of wall there. I'll go ahead and just put this in here, and I'm going to mill it by eye according to the lines that I made in it. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Me. Yeah, it's just about 10 thousandths proud now. Right in there. Oh yeah, okay. Now all I have to do is trim it down on the front, probably recording stopped. I don't believe it. Anyway, here's where I'm at. I don't know where it stopped. I've got the piece that fits down inside of here, and I'm just going to go ahead and round these corners off and get it to fit right up inside here with the belt sander, and I'll be right back. Okay, I just took off the corners a little bit to get it to fit up inside of here. So now I'm just going to take the mill and I'm going to clean up the sides of it a little bit. And I'm just doing all this by eye. And it's kind of like a trial and error thing to get it to fit. I've never done this before. And this is all I came up with out of my little head, so I'm just trying to do it without welding it, because I do not, believe it or not, have an oxyacetylene welding setup. Sweet. Sits right on top there the way I want it. So here's what I've come up with. It fits down inside the hole. I've got it level with the top surface, with the outside surface here. I might go in and take down these edges here after well, maybe not. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm going to put one hole down here in the bottom, thread it, and screw in a grub screw with some Loctite, and then I'm going to overlap. I'm going to drill the hole right in the center in between the brass and the cast, and then I'm going to put another screw right in there, and that will hold it on. Well, you know, I'm trying to figure out why this document says the cam's supposed to have a 320 lift on the intake and exhaust, and I only have a 300 lift. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, but for now that's going to be it. I'll get the oil pump fixed up. We'll start on the bottom plate next time, because there's more work that has to be done with that. I'm going to make a plate over here for the dipstick tube, so you can screw it in. I'll make a plate for the inside and tack weld it in there, and I'll put a hole over here for my full flow oil that's going to come out the side of the pan. And we'll get the heads on next time for sure. So stick with me, we'll get there. It's going to take me a little bit. There's a swap meet coming up this weekend, so if I don't get a chance to get something out before Saturday, I forgot what the heck day it was, but anyway, if I don't get anything out before Saturday, this is Wednesday, I probably won't until Monday or Tuesday of next week. So that's it for right now. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Join me next time when we get a little bit more done. We'll get there. It'll just take me a little bit of time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.